Phil Spencer said some very interesting things about Xbox Game Pass yesterday, which prompted a lot of PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch users to think to themselves and ask aloud, maybe one day we'll be able to play those Xbox exclusives on our device. What is going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, man with the million, back again with another video. Yes, I'm sure you guys have seen the headlines on GameSpot and IGN and stuff. Xbox Game Pass is coming to every device, reads the headline. And a lot of people are thinking, well, every device. That's got to mean the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch, right? I mean, that's a device. Hold your horses. Let's actually break down what he said and think logically about the situation at hand. So, he was at a conference talking about Xbox Game Pass among a lot of other things, but his direct quote goes along like this. So we built Xbox Game Pass. It started on console, it will come to PC, and eventually it will come to every device. We used the flywheel that we have with customers on Xbox to start the growth in Xbox Game Pass. But as somebody sitting back and taking a longer term view of where our business is going, you should look at that as a business model that we think scales to billions of people, not hundreds of millions of people like retail does. So, there you have it right there. It's coming to PC. Satya said that in an investor's call a month ago. Phil has reiterated it here. It started on consoles on the Xbox One platform. It's moving to PC. Microsoft wants to bolster their Windows 10 lineup. You could even look at the acquisitions of Obsidian and inXile, two PC-focused devs to try to build content for that. For Game Pass is what a lot of these acquisitions are there for. The AAA games, they take long times to make, and there's a big gap between them. Microsoft knows this. So they need to build up first party to be able to provide gamers with fresh content all the time in Game Pass, and I know a lot of people don't like that strategy, but that is the strategy they are using going forward. So you have the console, the Xbox One, you have the PC, you have mobile devices. And how are they going to get to mobile? Well, they announced the Project xCloud earlier this year. So yeah, at some point, Game Pass will be part of some sort of subscription where you can stream to your phone. Eventually, maybe even an app on your television where you can just click a button and boom, you're on Xbox Live, playing some games on Xbox Game Pass, maybe on your PC, through your tablets and things like that. But of course, if you've been listening to me for a long time, I've been saying this for over a year now, basically, telling you exactly what Microsoft's strategy is with the Xbox Game Pass and the cloud and all that stuff. So this isn't really a surprise to you. And what you're here for is probably what I put in the title. Is it really coming to the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch? And that is a very interesting question to ask. Microsoft wants to reach 2 billion gamers. PlayStation has the vast majority of console gamers on their platform. The PS4 right now, 86 million, maybe at like 92 right now, depending on how Sony did in the holidays. I believe the Nintendo Switch just hit around 22 million. They're doing really good. And then those are customers that maybe Microsoft would want to target. I think they're going to be targeting those customers with next-gen offerings of their own cloud services using, the mobile app and the cloud streaming stick, and potentially the cheaper priced Xbox Scarlet thing I talked about in my previous video. But a lot of people think that because Phil Spencer said every device, that means literally every device. The PlayStation 4, the Switch, my refrigerator, my toaster, anything that can actually have a connection to the internet is going to play Game Pass. But of course, being facetious, that's not really true. Now, I do think there is a chance that Xbox Game Pass comes to Nintendo Switch in the future. I think that is a distinct possibility. And honestly, when you think about what Nintendo Switch does really well, it's the mobility, taking games on the go. So if Microsoft partnered with Nintendo in some way, which is not out of the possibility of imagination, as they're doing crossplay together. They opted into Minecraft crossplay, which requires Nintendo users to have an Xbox Live account, which counts for the monthly active users on Xbox, which they report to their investors. So clearly Nintendo and Microsoft are not averse about working together. So will that good relationship lead to Microsoft one day pitching Game Pass? Or maybe they've already pitched it to Nintendo, and Nintendo seeing no reason not to. I'm sure Microsoft would give them a cut. Nintendo says they're not really competing with PlayStation and Xbox anyways. And then boom, there you have it. You have Xbox Game Pass streaming through the xCloud on a mobile Switch device with actual game controls. So you can actually play games much better than you could on your phone or your tablet. It's almost like a match made in heaven. I really do think that is a distinct possibility in the future. But then again, maybe it'll never happen. Maybe Nintendo is going to be like what I'm going to say here about Sony. Now, of course, a lot of Sony fans are kind of seeing this news and thinking to themselves, well, I don't have to get an Xbox. Checkmate. This devalues Xbox. It means I don't have to get the system. And for some people, yes, it does devalue Xbox. It's less of a reason to purchase the console. But Microsoft has been broadening their options for quite some time now. Xbox Play Anywhere with the idea of playing your Xbox games on the PC, the xCloud stuff, or be able to play all these Xbox games wherever you want. Obviously, Microsoft is about giving you the option of where you want to play, and they're fine with you not buying the Xbox. If you want to play in the PC, go right ahead. You're not getting one over Microsoft. They're just giving you more ways to try to give them money. You know, you're not pulling this big like loophole on them. You're not like getting one over. You're doing exactly what Microsoft wants to do. But Sony is very protective of their install base. I mean, look with the whole shenanigans with crossplay. How long did it take Sony to come to the realization that this is something we need to do? And it only happened because of Epic's pressure with Fortnite. We haven't seen them say anything about any other games yet. It took them a long time to even want to consider opening up PSN and their cultivated user base to interact with Xbox gamers and Nintendo gamers. Think about what Sony doesn't have on the platform right now. They have their own service, their own streaming service with PlayStation Now. Their bread and butter is selling third-party games. So here comes Microsoft with the pitch to Sony. Let us put Xbox Game Pass and the xCloud on your system. But it's like, why would Sony accept that? They already denied EA Access, which is a similar service, not really streaming, but it is competition to PlayStation Now, and Sony doesn't want that on their platform. So Sony's not going to let Microsoft come in and sell their product to the users that PlayStation has made over their 25-year history. They worked hard, they worked long, they built this relationship with their customers, and they're not going to let Microsoft come in and just be like, yeah, you know what? Go ahead, Microsoft. Make some money off of us. We know you couldn't get to 100 million yourself, so we're going to help you. We're going to help you make money. We're going to help you increase your monthly active users so you can go to your investors and get more money, maybe even get better deals with some of the third parties out there. We're going to let you do that. Of course not. Sony has no interest in helping Microsoft off in this way. And I go back to the Minecraft example. When presented with the opportunity to do crossplay with Minecraft, Sony declined because PlayStation users would have to make an Xbox Live account to play Minecraft, and Sony didn't want that. Sony's not in the business in helping Microsoft out. Now, some people would say, well, they use Havok, they use Simply Gone, they use PlayFab, that's money in Microsoft's pockets. That's a little bit different. Those are middleware things that Microsoft owns, and Sony may not care so much about how the devs make their games. If they happen to use Microsoft product to make their games because that's how the devs are familiar with making it, that's perfectly acceptable. They don't want Xbox Live on PSN. Not one bit. Now, another argument you could make is that, hey, wouldn't that be a really good selling point for the PlayStation 5, Rand? Imagine you're Sony and Microsoft comes to you with this idea of Game Pass and xCloud. And you're sitting there thinking, you know what? If we allow this, then the PlayStation 5 is even more attractive to people. Because then you could buy a PlayStation 5 for the third-party games, the great PS5 exclusives that we are going to have, like God of War 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn 2 and Spider-Man and all that stuff. And our users will be able to play Xbox games, which means they're not buying an Xbox. And we'll take a cut from what Microsoft sells. It's an interesting argument that Sony will be making money off that. But I'm not sure that's the case. I'm not sure Microsoft even wants this on the PlayStation, and I certainly don't think PlayStation wants any of their users using Xbox Live on PlayStation. That's my kind of thought on this. So when Phil says every device, he's really talking mobile phones, Androids, he's talking potentially TVs, he's talking tablets, he's talking PCs, he's talking Xboxes. He's not necessarily talking about PlayStations or the Switch. But I do think there is a glimmer of hope that Xbox Game Pass and xCloud come to the Nintendo Switch in the future. Anyways, guys, that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Let me know in the comments below what you think about all this. Hit that sub button if you're new. Hit the notification bell if you always want to be notified when I drop new content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.